All right, back to the dance. Street Dance 1 and 2. Now, let's start with Street Dance 1. British film has a long history of using the idea of class in its storytelling. American film may have wealthy people, but the people they mix with are usually portrayed as choices, if mentioned at all. In British film, though it may be celebrated, teased, or disliked, it seems to be treated more as providence and, by extension, an inescapable fact of life. And I find that point of view fascinating. And that's the basis you get here, a group of street dancers who live in fairly nice places, are compelled to integrate with their posh ballet counterpart dancers and find a way to work together. And yeah, I'm afraid it's kind of a dreary movie. But before I get to that, the 3D is excellent and native shot. You can see the telltale twisting of each view of genuine stereo in these examples. And every shot is a visual treat. You see the sun streaming in from windows, lots of crowd shots. They tour the camera around the city. And even this elaborate steel wrought bed, which defines well in stereo, it gets a surprising amount of camera time. There always seems to be a reason to throw in a shot of this bed. Maybe the manufacturer was a film sponsor. And I also like this one moment where they superimposed what she was looking at in front of her. I thought that was a good use of 3D in a simple effect. The cinematography is very creative without coming across as flashy or obvious in its attempts to show 3D. If you have a 3D TV, I recommend this for all the pretty stereo shots. The movie itself, I'm less enthusiastic about, although I do like dance movies, but this is not a dance movie. This is a movie about dance. What that means is the characters are dancers, but they need an excuse to dance. They don't communicate through dance, and they aren't really given a lot of excuses. And even the choreographed sequences don't get too elaborate. And a lot of what we see looks like actors pretending to be dancers, just quick shots of dance-like activity to establish the setting. So sadly, a bland dance movie in a terrific 3D wrapper. Let's move on to part two. Aha, the French. So I guess this was pre-Brexit, and they wanted to be European. So after a quick tour of the continent, we arrive in France. Now, only on a second viewing did I realize that this does share a character from the first movie. I guess he's the manager here, but it otherwise has no connection to it, and you don't need to see the first movie to enjoy this one. Happily, it continues to be a native shot 3D and relishes in its stereo. We get even some extreme shots, confetti, and rooms that are full of fun stuff to tickle the eyes with pleasure. I mean, there's a dance club with a boxing ring in it that has chandeliers in the ceiling. Another great 3D experience. There's something about a nice native shot 3D movie that creates a strange, lucid feeling. Conversions, though I often love them, just don't do that. Now, this is a dance movie, and by that I mean the dancing means something. The love story is communicated through dancing. People show their emotions through dancing. The movie still feels the need to keep it on a dance floor for the most part, but we've got emotion here with why they're acting out. My only complaint is the dancing in the competition felt like it could have been more elaborate, but it's still a league above the previous movie if you enjoy watching good dancing. In a previous video, I had looked at the Step Up dance 3D movies, and I suppose these are a British version of that style of movie. Not quite a musical, these dance competition movies have sort of become their own little genre in the last decade or so. Its development as a genre had coincided with the rebirth of stereo, so there are actually quite a lot of dance-off movies in 3D, happily. On a less happy note, it's produced by E1, who insist on region coding their 3D discs. I have no idea if a region A exists. I couldn't find one. And finally, I just want to mention there is a 3D dance-off movie from India called Street Dancer, but as far as I know, that has never been released on Blu-ray, at least not in 3D, so far as I can tell. I'd love to check it out if that exists.